Hey y'all, hope you are enjoying these Throwback Thursdays. I know I'm enjoying going back and looking at some of the amazing times we've had, some of the amazing stuff we've done. But today we are going to continue our Throwback Thursday with our last from our last video of the Copperhead Strike announcement. Well, now we're going to go on a Copperhead Strike construction tour. Now, if you've never been on a tour of how they build roller coasters and what all is involved, it is amazing to see these things come together. It really is. So today we're going to visit Carowinds and go back to, I think it was 2018, and go on our first Copperhead construction tour. So hope you enjoy these Throwback Thursdays. If you're not already subscribed, please consider doing so. We would love to have you hanging with the crazy crew. And by the way, if you ever see us out anywhere, be sure to say hey to us. We love meeting new friends. So with that being said, let's head on over to Carowinds and let's take a look at what they're doing to Copperhead Strike. Welcome back, everybody. Today, as you can see behind me, we're back at Carowinds. But today is a little bit different. We get to go behind the scenes and check out the 2019 edition of Blue Ridge Junction, and more specifically the roller coaster Copperhead Strike. We got invited on a construction tour today, and so we get to go back, put on our hard hats, and check out all the new progress that they've made already. A lot of track has already been put up, a lot more to go yet, we know, but a lot of progress has been made already, and we get to go back there and check it out. Special thanks goes out to, huge thanks, I can't say it enough, to Carowinds for inviting us on this construction tour. Love to share all your updates, can't wait to see more. So let's get back there and grab a hard hat and see what's going on.
Pictures on them if you want to take a look at those, and then we'll start answering your questions.
So you'll notice we have a rendering over here. These are our new mountain gliders, just announced today. This is the pad you're standing on right now, is where the mountain gliders will be installed. We're bringing it back. This is a fan favorite. You might remember that just about a year ago we took them out to make way for Camp Snoopy, and they were known as the Woodstock Gliders, and they're coming back as the mountain gliders, and they'll be ready for you in the spring with Copperhead Strike, so we're very excited about that.
That's okay. 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 All right, that'll work. Thanks. That off. Good father.
So summary of what
Okay. Now, we're going to talk. I'm going to talk with this thing first and just kind of give a good
if you want a
overview.
separate interview, we can mic up.
Yeah.
Okay. Right.
Now, this one.
This is just kind of give you some info what you're seeing out here.
Okay, let me give you a little insight on what you're seeing here. The dark brown supports and the copper colored track, that is Copperhead Strike. If you look over here, you'll see the superstructure with the I-beam structure. That is actually the station. That's going to be the station. And from your perspective, if you come back over here to the left, you'll see some concrete pillars with anchor bolts sticking out of the top of it. That is actually the storage shed. So the trains will get parked there at night. We'll move them on from the transfer track onto the track. They'll go into the station over here, and that's what you see over here, the gray I-beams. So you'll load in the station there, and then you see as the track comes out to your right, comes through the JoJo roll, comes around a 180-degree turn right here, and where the plastic is actually where the launch barn is going to be. So you'll come out of the station, you'll come through the JoJo roll, you'll roll over, you come around, you'll stop in the launch barn. We've got a show that goes on in there, and then it launches you. It goes from 0 to 42 miles an hour in 2.5 seconds. If you extrapolate that out to a 0 to 60 mile an hour run, it's 3.5 seconds, which is about as fast as you're going to get to go in a Corvette. So the acceleration is the same as a brand new Corvette. To give you a little bit of perspective, I was having a hard time with the perspective from 0 to 42 because that's not what we know. We know 0 to 60. So for all the gearheads out there, it's basically the same as an L1 Corvette right now. Okay, and then What you see the first loop is under construction right here. All right. You see 2 or 3 curved pieces right there. So they put those in yesterday, and they're working on. They should be completing the loop either today or tomorrow. Is what the plan is. So we've got all the steel here now to complete those. So all the steel comes in containers from Germany. They ride the boat over. They come into Charleston, the port at Charleston, and then they ship them here on a truck. So we're unloading containers, probably anywhere from 3 to 6 containers every week. We get tracking. So we should have everything here in about another month. Let's see. You see there's 3 yellow rigs out there that look like drill rigs. That's exactly what they are. All the foundations over here are drilled here. So what that is if anybody's ever seen a well being drilled, they usually use a 6 or an 8-inch bit. We're using 30 and 36-inch bits. So it's a big hole. We put rebar in it for the concrete in, and that's the foundation. It goes all the way down to bedrock. So all these foundations out here are anywhere from 15 to 22 feet deep. But it goes to bedrock, and that's what the coaster sits on. So the foundations out here, you see with the square pier cap on them, there's multiple piers that go down to bedrock to support the coaster. And that's one of the best ways we do coaster foundations here at Carowinds. So we've got 3 drill rigs out here supported by 2 cranes. They work out here basically Monday through Friday. We catch up on Saturday for rain and whatnot. The site's rather wet today. The hurricane slowed us down a little bit, but we're in the process of catching up right now. So, anything I didn't cover? 5 inversions. You guys have all the specs on the ride already. So it's 5 inversions, 0 to 42 miles an hour, 2.5 seconds. It's a double launch coaster, linear synchronous motors. It's the first dual launch coaster in the Carolinas. It's 3,255 feet long, which is 0.6 of a mile. I told you about the Corvette. All right, I'll take a few questions.
Can you take it off of that?
I can? Sure.
It would make you sound better.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions? No?
See, I'd like a one-on-one if that's all
Sure,
right.
we can do that.
How many coasters are there like this, maybe nationwide? Or?
Nationwide? Wow. I don't know the answer to that question.
Well, this coaster was uniquely designed for Carowinds, so this particular coaster is unique. Yes, it was uniquely designed for the park. Now there are other launch coasters.
So there
but this is
other
unique.
double launch, but this one is designed specifically for
That's right.
Carowinds.
Yes.
A lot of times what you'll find out with coaster manufacturers, they've got a basic design out there, and then for wherever it's going, everything is tweaked. So we always custom design our coasters here. Our topography is different. We don't want just a generic coaster. We always want something that's customized for us.
What makes this unique? There's terms you use, but I'm not a coaster freak. Explain it to others.
Okay, the thing that makes this unique is it's a launch coaster. So you don't have the traditional chain lift going clacky, clacky, clack, and it pulls you up and uses gravity. It actually uses a linear synchronous motor, which if you take an electric motor and stretch it out, and roll it out, that's what that looks like. So you've got the stator that's actually on the track. So it's an aircraft carrier. When you actually launch a plane on an aircraft carrier, they use steam, we're using electricity.
And it's dual something.
It's a dual launch coaster. Okay, well what happens is you have 2 launches on the coaster. So when you come out of the station, you park in the launch barn. That's the first launch. So it'll launch you from 0 to 42 miles an hour in 2.5 seconds. Then you go through the loops, right? You go through the track, and it's a real low coaster. So it's only 42 feet tall. So it's supposed to mimic in the hills, in the mountains, run a moonshine. That whole thing kind of close, all close to the ground, twists and turns like that. And then when it gets through half the ride, you go through another launch, but it's a moving launch. So you hit that launch at about 30, 35 miles an hour, and it bumps you up to 50 miles an hour, and you go through some more ones. So it's got 5 different inversions. So you launch at the beginning, and then halfway through you launch again. So you come out of the launch tunnel, wow! you fly through, and then you come to another straight section. It goes slightly uphill, and then it launches you again, so you accelerate again. You know, like the cops are chasing you. I got to hit the gas. Let's go. I got moonshine in the trunk.
So
if
we blink, do we miss the ride altogether?
You don't. No. It's the ride is 2.5 minutes long. Okay, and the acceleration is comparable to what you would feel in a hopped up car. You know, something that they would use back in the 40s and 50s running moonshine. You know, custom engines. You know, lots of horsepower. But the acceleration is that type of acceleration. It's all based off that era and what you could do with a big muscle car. And like I said earlier, a modern Corvette, if you nail it 0 to 60, that's the acceleration you're going to feel coming out of the launch line.
So what are some of the challenges of this construction site?
Challenges on the construction site, we always run into soil conditions around here. We have a lot of plasticized clay. You can't build on clay. So that's why we go all the way down to bedrock with our foundations. There's a couple different ways to do foundations. One was the big spread footing, which is a big slug of concrete, big square of concrete, and just sits there and kind of floats on the ground. Another way is to actually drill a pier, a big column like you see on a bridge, and go all the way down to bedrock and let the bedrock support it. And that's what we've found that's a much it's a better economical solution for us. It's also faster. We run into fewer conflicts with utilities and a bunch of other stuff. So construction methods there are important because that's always a big challenge. Another big challenge is timing. That we took down Whitewater Falls last year to get ready. We started doing soil borings and we started construction over here this year. So we knew we were not going to be able to run that ride. So it's all about schedules, timing, getting the right contractors in place. Because right now, building construction is just booming in this area. And there's only 2 companies that will do large foundations like this with those drill piers. There used to be 3, there's only 2 now. So we had to lock those people in a year ahead of time. Make sure that they could get the schedule so we can get open on time.
We're on time?
We are on time. Yep, the hurricane slowed us down about 3 days, but we'll work Saturdays and Sundays and take advantage of any work longer days. We'll get caught up. We should be caught up by the end of this week.
When did you take the plan of ride like this from, just drawing it out to finishing it?
It's usually about 2.5 years. When you order a coaster like this, you have to order it 2 years before you actually want to ride it, because it takes time to manufacture it. So you go through the design process, then you start talking to the ride manufacturer and say, okay, we want to do this. And then you actually get into the heavy design phase of actually what the coaster is going to be and what you're going to tweak on it. Because you start with a basic design. We've got this element. Some of them it's even just a laundry list. What elements do you want to see in your coaster? And then they go through that whole design phase. We can do this, this, and this, and this. And we can make it work like this on your site. The beauty about this site is it's relatively flat. When we did Afterburn, we've got the big hill, so we took advantage of the natural landscape over there to build a coaster. So.
How will this differ between the monster ride, the Fury, the big coaster?
Well, the Fury is big. It's big and tall, and it's fast. All right. This one is short and fast, low to the ground, so it's a totally different experience. That one over there is all about that big hill and the speed. This one's more about the experience. It's a double launch coaster. That's got a big chain. Okay, so you're like going up that way. Here you sit and then you accelerate, no chain. So the big thing about this is it's a big launch coaster. The last launch coaster we had here was White Lightning. So I don't know if anybody remembers White Lightning, but it was a prototype ride, and it used the big counterweight, big slug of concrete that was about 20 tons, and it would actually hook up, and then it had the cable and it would pull the train that way. It would pull it, and then it went through a loop and it came back through. This one is a double launch coaster. It's not just a single, but it's a double. That's what makes it unique. But being a linear synchronous motor, it's an electrical launch. So you don't have all the wear factors and all. You don't have the noise. It just goes. Kind of like stepping on the accelerator on a car. You step on it, it goes. Here you go.
And it's being built in Germany and it's shipped here piece by piece.
Yes, that's right. It's made by Mach. The other coaster we have is the Ricochet, which is the trade names of Wild Mouse. That's the other Mach coaster that we have here. So this would be our second Mach coaster.
Steve, tell me your last name.
Jackson.
J-A-C-K-S-O-N.
Yes, sir.
And your title?
Director of Maintenance and Construction. Good.
When do you expect testing to begin?
We'll start testing in January.
Okay.
Right now we've got to get the ride completed, and then the electrical system installed, and then enough fence up that we can actually start testing.
Okay.
So we expect to start testing in January.
Okay.
Can you describe like kind of what everything else that will go with the ride will look like? So there's going to be some other themes, kind of walk through.
It's got a Blue Ridge Junction theme, so it's mountain country theme to it.
Yeah, exactly.
So the theming is it's going to have a country look. Right now we're hoping to even have a cornfield over here, but it's going to have. I don't know if I want to give away the storyline for it yet, because I know what the storyline is, but I'm not sure I'm supposed to tell it. But it's got a backwoods country kind of moonshine theme to it, and a few snakes. We don't call it Copperhead Strike for nothing, right?
Did you say what the total construction time was, or what your time?
The total construction time. Let's see. Well, we actually started drilling foundations back in June.
Okay.
And it'll be operational in the spring. Right now, I'm not allowed to tell you exactly what date.
Okay.
But it will be in the spring. I know when I want it to run, and I know when I plan on riding.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Can I grab you real quick? Since I,
Sure.
Sure
you can.
I'm paying attention.
Whatever you need.
Do I understand correctly? We're gonna have a pathway connecting from this County Fair area back over to behind Dodgems?
Yes. Yeah, basically where these games areas are.
Right.
They are gonna work in the entrance right here, and it will loop. You're actually gonna go underneath the ride.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then it kind of cues out that way, and then this is the exit. This is the exit over there.
Okay. But it will connect back in over behind Dodgems. We can actually get from one area.
And then into Crossroads as well. It's gonna go.
Okay.
I guess kind of around where Rita's is. There's gonna be, I think, another pathway.
Okay. Awesome.
Or even maybe on this side of Dodgems. I'm not exactly sure which side of this path it's going to be. So it could be right here on the other side of the queue line, or it could be over by.
Okay. But there will be a connection through
Yes.
there. Okay.
So it kind of ties the whole area, two areas together.
Right.
Or all three, really. You can go from County Fair to Blue Ridge Junction to Crossroads along one path.
The track is going to be complete in December. It may be as early as the last week in November, but there again, it depends on how the foundations go. So,
Yeah, we told everyone that we either need to announce it today or we're going to have to drop a helicopter during the construction tour.
You could have brought back Woodstock whirlybirds and sat out here.
Yeah, I know, right?
The schedule is to have the track complete mid-December. But we're there again. The weather's good. We've got the contractors out here are awesome. They're really doing a good job. They're trying to, if we can make up a day here, make up a day here, get ahead a day here, get ahead a day there, that's what we're doing, because we know we need to get ahead where we can, because we're gonna have some weather. So you have to pay it forward. So you keep your foot on the gas on this construction stuff. You take advantage of every good day you have, because you're going to have some bad days where it's not convenient. Just like that hurricane. Hurricane shut us down for 3 days, so we got to make that time up. So luckily we were ahead a little bit, so it didn't put us too far back. You know, with the rain and whatnot, so it ebbs and flows. So you keep your foot on the gas and you keep moving forward every opportunity you get. So right now, I think the track will be done before the middle of December.
Can you tell us the heights of the loop? I know that the top hat is 82 feet. That
82 feet. That height of the loop, I don't have that number in my head. It's probably 70. It's between 70 and 75 feet to the top. So it comes in painted already.
Yeah.
So it's actually painted in the factory, so it's got a really good paint job on it. Anytime you can paint inside like that, you get a much better paint job than if you have to paint it outdoors. It's kind of like doing sheetrock with a manufactured house. It's straight and dry.
That's right.
You can make it perfect inside.
You got most of the track already here on site?
The majority of it's here. We've got about 70% of it here.
Okay.
The rest of it will be here within the next 5 weeks.
All the supports here, or you still missing some of those?
We're still missing a few of them,
Okay.
but the majority of those are here. We're waiting. They sent all the supports in the first wave, so we've got more supports than we have track. So they sent the supports here because you have to actually assemble the parts.
Right.
And then the track goes in individual pieces, so they send the supports first, because that's got to go up first. And then they'll put the track on. So
Okay.
now it's coming. We're getting supports and track. We're getting more track than supports now, because almost all the supports are here.
Now the LSM system will be built before the structure is actually built around it.
The LSM system is actually mounts to the track itself.
Right.
So the stator's actually mounted to the track, and then the coaster's got a fin on it that goes through there.
Right.
And then the stator's energized that and it flies through. But there's actually 2 launch cabinets, big electrical cabinets that go actually underneath the storage building.
Okay.
That's where the control room is going to be. Underneath the station it'll actually be an open space. It's not closed in, but it's actually, the storage track's actually built like a concrete bunker. So it's got concrete sides and concrete top. And then the trains will actually sit on the track that's on top of that concrete roof. And then that'll be enclosed also. There's another building that goes on top of that, but underneath is all basically a big concrete bunker.
2 trains, 3?
3.
3 trains.
3 trains. 18 people per train. 16 people per train. See, I know I was going to get 4 in a car, 4 cars. Yeah.
Hey, Mike has a question for you.
Steve,
Sure.
I remember previously you said each ride has to be ridden 100 times without failure.
Correct.
When you open up a brand new roller coaster, is it still the 100 times, or is
It
it more
is.
rigorous?
No, it's 100 times.
Yeah.
It's actually
there's testing that goes on
It's more
before that.
rigorous. The manufacturer with a brand new ride like that, it'll end up with 500 to 1,000 cycles on it.
Yeah.
But we, at the end, once they think we're done, then we run 100 cycles with no faults.
Okay, so the
Before we have-
manufacturers
so
come
that's-
in,
yeah,
they
that-
run it almost 1,000 times,
Yeah.
and then your team runs it 100 times.
We run it 100 times. When they think that they're ready, then we start our testing. We run it 100 times, no faults,
Wow.
before we open it.
And then it's
Then we
ready.
then we're ready for the public.
That's great. That's good
State
stuff.
inspections have to happen and all that, but that's internally that's what we do. If we can't get that 100 cycles with no faults, then we don't open. You know, it's got to be safe. It's got to be reliable. It's got to be fun.
That's right.
With the LSMs and the whatever type of braking system you're gonna have, how much will rain affect this ride?
The rain doesn't affect the launch at all.
Okay.
okay, because it's non-friction based. What'll really, the rain will affect it as far as, it won't run, it doesn't, okay, let me start over. I was whacked. The rain really won't affect the launch at all. It really doesn't affect the braking system on it. What it will affect is the ride experience. You know, you don't want to get pelted with rain, so it'll run in a light drizzle. We won't run it in a big downpour. So, great question. It's also we're planning to run it for Winterfest.
Really?
For 2019. This is actually one of the rides. That was one of the considerations when we built this ride. Will it run in the cold weather? So this one will run in a little bit cooler weather than like Fury or Intimidator. So we made sure that we got those parameters tweaked in so we can run it for Winterfest. So this ride is scheduled to run for Winterfest 2019. Now that's a bit of information I haven't shared with anybody before because nobody's asked me that. So that's new. Nobody's asked me the rain question. I just kind of morphed into that. Did you hear that?
No.
This ride is scheduled to operate for Winterfest 2019.
This ride?
This
Winterfest?
one and that one.
Oh, 2019.
2019. They asked me the rain question.
Where did that say?
They asked me the rain question. Well, it was a consideration when we actually
Oh, I see.
when we were working through the parameters on this. Will it run in cooler weather?
Yes.
And the answer is yes.
Yay! Another coaster we can keep open on Winterfest. Yes, that's a good question. Leave
That's
it
a
to our
big
coaster
plus.
fans.
The Flyers will run also for Winterfest.
Blue Ridge Junction will be the place to be.
Yep.
Oh, speaking of Blue Ridge Junction,
Yes.
can you tell us what else is going to be included?
Well, this is Blue Ridge Junction, and then this area wings is going to be renovated and become Blue Ridge Country Kitchen. So this whole area will become Blue Ridge
So
Junction.
the bumper cars, Southern Star, is that?
That'll stay Country Crossroads, but the Midway is opening up into that area. So it's really going to open up the Midway and give it a good feeling.
Yeah, it's not really on these drawings. But anyway, Midway is actually going to go right through here. You know, you come around the gliders, between Copperhead truck and gliders, you see that truck is right there, and that fence, that comes down, and that's where the Midway will tie into the crossroads.
Yes.
Yes.
So we have to walk between the
So
two.
it's instead of having to come up here, so we're making a
Yes.
little loop.
Well, I don't know.
Trying
Do
to
they
make
have
this
fast lane like right when it opens?
Thoroughfare.
Yes. Yes.
A little bit walk.
Here is the new hotel that they're building here on site. All right, there you have it. Nice little construction tour of Copperhead Strike and Blue Ridge Junction. Found out a lot of new information today, including mountain gliders. The gliders are returning as the mountain gliders. Wonderful news. I know the kids and adults alike are going to love that. Huge shout out goes to Carowinds for the invitation today. We really enjoy it. Really love coming out and being a part of all this kind of stuff and sharing it with everybody. If you like what you're seeing, give this video a thumbs up. Hey, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification so you don't miss out on any of the fun that we are having, are going to have, and even more things coming up. See you next time.